emerging markets have been a real challenge for insurers. I mean, if you really look over the last 5 or 6 years, you've seen companies enter markets and you see them exit markets because they're very volatile. So there's no question in my mind that Asia will still be has a massive opportunity. When you think there are about 300 million people in Indonesia alone, they're all buying things, playing things, talking things through on the internet. The opportunity for products through that media is going to increase dramatically. The same as in India. Vietnam's coming through. All parts of Asia are real grow areas. There are challenges in some parts of Asia, clearly, for Western companies serving in China. It's very important. It is harder, it's tougher, especially on the FDI rules within China. But there is still opportunity, and there's some good alliances have emerged from China working with some of the Western insurance companies. And I think it's still going to be very important to grow that. I generally believe that Sub-Saharan Africa is going to be enormous, probably in 5 to 10 years. It's not going to. Insurers aren't going to make a great deal of money in the 2 or 3 years coming up, but 5 to 10 years, the growth of populations there, the way that we're pleasing to see that politics is changing, consumer behaviour and attitudes have taken, the visibility of how consumers need and access to products is moving, how we see it with the telecoms companies already, other traditional industries, insurers will follow. So I do think Sub-Saharan Africa will be huge. The same thing for South America. South America has been difficult. Brazil has been a challenging market. Argentina has been a really difficult market for the last few years. But Mexico is growing. And I know that the challenges of Mexico with North America issues, but the fact is that is a growing market, and we're seeing some insurers making some really good returns there at the moment. But I wouldn't say no to the rest of South America, and LATAM is going to be a growth area. Eastern Europe is going to be tough, and political climate's tough there too. We're seeing opportunities moving in some other parts of like Iran and Iraq. There's definitely starting to see Western organisations growing. Again, it depends on the politics that's going to come through the next few years. It's volatile from that point of view. But again, at some point in time, these sanctions are going to have to come off and markets will improve, and there'll be an opportunity because, again, there's millions and millions of people there who will need products. The other big point about emerging markets, I think, is the fact that insurance, if you think globally, less than 80% of risk is insured globally. The taxpayer pays for most of the risks. When you think of the horrendous stories around the big tsunamis and the big storms that have happened across, virtually 80% of that is not insured. And taxpayers paying for it. So it's important. The certainty provided by data and provided by governments providing safety measures and making sure planning laws, etc., are put in place to mitigate that risk. So I do think there's a big opportunity, and that will be certainly the case in emerging markets. As we get more political certainty, as you get more protection put in place to define risks more clearly, then insurers will move in and start taking that risk.